Hello, everyone, and this is the ultimate last episode for 2024. And as you know, Mark and I wanted to bring you our favourite 30 albums. As per usual, it gets tougher and tougher, mate. Well, we didn't have any arguments, thankfully, but it was a headache, wasn't it? Because another great year for music.
Well, it's a real headache, and I think this is the fifth time we've done it. Certainly doesn't get any easier, but I really don't look forward to doing this one for a couple of reasons. It's always hard work to put all your albums you've listened to this year into some sort of order.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's kind of like it drives home how much money you've spent on music this year and how many albums you bought.
But yeah, you're right. It's I've especially towards the end of this year, I've been a massive ton of releases.
There's still albums coming out now that you listen to and you think, I didn't hear that at the time, or would that have been in our selection for the top 30? But it's like anything, it's our favourites of this year.
Yeah,
everyone will have their own favourites, and we have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, you do. I think we've got some honourable mentions where we dive in.
Perfect example. I mean, there's albums which at the beginning of the year we expected. We knew they were being released this year, and we thought, they're albums that are definitely going to be in our top 30 this year. But there were so many strong contenders that they're worthy of an honourable mention because they're great albums, but they just didn't make our list. The Alison Moyet, that was an album that was highly expected this year. The brought out an album Installment this year, which we thought, first album in 25 years, that's going to be in there. Obviously, our buddies in Belgium, Metroland, brought out Forum, fantastic album, worthy of a mention. Pet Shop Boys, huge album this year, brought it out. Again, sadly, didn't make our list. Proctor's is a personal favourite of mine. Just didn't make the list. I mean, I think we got a really strong 30. You would chuck in as well.
Yeah, well, it's Boris Poople, Letter to You. I know some of our subscribers loved Thorns, How Lost, our good friend Finley Shakespeare, Directions Out of Town. Amazing album. One of my personal favourites, an Italian two-piece of Quadro di Trossi. One of the most beautiful covers this year, but also the music in it was just out this world. Jane Weaver, you mentioned Metroland, Simon Spine, our good friend Pete Dugal, with his Lozel's drone servo self-modifier. Great album, really good album. We just had to kind of squeeze the 30 we thought were really worth getting into that, but these other ones, as you mentioned, I mentioned, are definitely, if we had a top 50, they'd be in there. I'm hoping that you guys like what me and Mark put forward. We'll be sending our awards to the artists before this goes out, so look out for some stuff there. But look, as I say, enjoy the music Mark and I put together, and it'd be interesting to see what feedback we get. It's always causes a bit of conversation, like, why isn't that in there? Why isn't that in there? And look, we know that, but these are the 30 that Mark and I sat down for. They're just such good albums. They've got to be in. So should we dive in, brother?
Yep, let's dive in and let all these good people hear and see what we think were the best albums for us in 2024.
Okay, so now we're getting into the top 20, and in at number 20, the fantastic Trent Muller and the amazing Dreamweaver album, amazingly put together in terms of just great sounding stuff that almost verges on Depeche Mode meets Underworld. Absolutely unbelievably good album, check it out.
At number 19, it is 7 by Scandinavian synth-pop wonders Kite. Up until now, they have never released a full-length studio album, but 7 changes all of that by collecting 7 of their 7-inch singles, remastered with original full-length mixes appearing on vinyl for the very first time, and in total collating 14 of the duo's deepest and most dynamic anthems. It is an album, or is it a compilation? A bit of both, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Okay, sitting at number 18, this absolute banger of an album, Our Souls, Liars and Electric Pioneers by the fantastic Paranoid London. This is the electronic band of Gerardo Delgado and Quinn Wiley. They've been inspired by early 90s British prog house, and it's just got such a great vibe to it. It's like a real grimy sort of underground but really up-tempo vibe to it. Absolutely love it.
At number 17 comes Lighter Bigger Fire, the 4th studio album by Ist, chock full of dark brooding songs with great melodies, hooks and bass lines. This album deserves to be heard by the masses.
At 16 is Leathers and Ultraviolet. This is kind of a neon-drenched soundscape of just amazing music. It's the debut album led by Canadian musician and visual artist Shannon Hamnett from Actors. Absolutely brilliant. Every track on this is perfect.
Coming in at number 15 is Loving You Is Killing Me by the brilliant My Life Story. I've loved My Life Story and Jake Shillingford from way back when, hearing Suited and Booted from the Golden Mile album in 1997. And this album is an absolute cracker, full of My Life Story, alternative, glam, energetic, upbeat, glitzy, edgy dream pop, all produced by Ben Hillier too. A top album.
Just stab her when I try to show my fears, and my heart hammers out the days, the months, the years. Run, and I
In at 14, Apollo Ray, the fantastic In Orbit, great album. I know our good friend Nick Watt had a part to play in this, but Louis Pavlo, absolute genius, mate. Loving this. Touches of Bowie in it, but also you're making it your own. Well worth checking out. Really good album, very creative.
I've raved about these guys on the Electronic Cafe YouTube channel and Facebook group the last 2 years following their 2022 album Momentary Presence, and they followed it up this year at number 13 in our chart with their new album Illuminator. Gift from New York produced a dizzying blend of early shoegaze and classic alternative modern pop, danceable and mesmerising. A great album. Look out for our chat with them in the new year.
In at number 12, our good friend Electronic Cafe. If you haven't seen the fantastic interview we did with the maestro Boris Blank himself, yes, Boris Blank, that amazing half of Yellow, just great album. He's such an incredible composer, really knows his craft. And Resonance is a worthy album to be in our top 30 this year. Check it out.
What can I say? In at our number 11 is Songs of a Lost World by The Cure. Their long-awaited 16th studio album coming 16 years after their last one. It's The Cure. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's dark, brooding, anthemic. I could go on. It's simply an awesome record.
And nothing is forever.
Okay, now we get into the massive top 10 albums of 2024 as voted by Mark and I on the Electronic Cafe. In at number 10, the incredible Dreamstate by the fabulous Kelly Owens. I think this album really sees her let herself go in terms of just making the music really accessible, free, enjoyable and really good to dance to. She's absolutely smashed it with this. It's an absolute joy of an album, well worth checking out, as are some of her previous works. She's an incredible artist. Kelly Owens, I say, Dreamstate, worth checking out.
Coming in at number 9 is the new self-titled album from Propaganda. Not to be mistaken with the Claudia Brookens, Suzanne Freitag ex-Propaganda. This is Propaganda with Ralph Dorper and Michael Mertens. 40 years since their first studio album and almost 2 decades since their last release. Propaganda return with a brand new chapter, an album that embodies the depth and drama of their early work while exploring fresh new sounds, electronic textures and styles, and reflecting on the personal and societal changes since their last outing. Thunder Bay takes control of the vocal duties, and this is propaganda at their most essential, an album that is well worth being at our number 9. Check out our brilliant chat with them earlier this year on the Electronic Cafe.
Facing the tidal waves, there is no time to waste. No riches worth saving, we're blinded by light. There's no place to hide. Tipping point, world out of joint. Tidal waves, hoping for saving grace.
At number 8, the incredible talent of Mr. Nick Cave, and Wild God, you knew it was going to be in here, right? I mean, the man just doesn't stop delivering album after album. I just find that when I hear his stuff, I really go on a journey, emotionally, musically, lyrically. I just love the guy. Had to see him live with my good lady wife at the AOTY finally, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and it was an amazing event. So glad I finally got to see him. So Wild God is definitely worth checking out. It is an amazing piece of work. What an incredible artist.
And amazed of pain, amazed to be back in the water again, in the Sunday rain, in the Sunday rain.
The Bexhill on Sea based pop trio released their motivational debut album, and it comes in at number 7 on our annual chart. The Office for Personal Development may sound like a gimmick being modelled as some sort of governmental department, but the sheer genius quickly becomes apparent. In some ways harking back to Heaven 17's debut album, Penthouse and Pavement, where Heaven 17 acted out business meetings in a take on capitalism and greed. Office for Personal Development also have a knack for writing brilliantly catchy tunes. Think 80s synth pop with hints of Kraftwerk with a 21st century twist, and you may not be wrong. Even Martin Ware is a fan. It's virtually impossible not to be enthralled by this album, and it is crammed to bursting point with glorious synth pop and hard not to sing along on your first listen. Such a great debut album. Go and check out our interview too on the Electronic Cafe with them earlier this year.
My welcome life, I'll be leaving through to anyone who will lend me an ear. You're the one that I'll say that I once knew. So go and be who you were born to be. Take it from me, your oldest friend.
At number 6, a relatively very new band. These lovely guys from Wales, Plastic Estate. I say one of our subscribers recommended we check them out, and we did. Absolutely blown away. Saw them live at the Shackleton Arms a few weeks ago. Really nice guys. Put on a hell of a set. The crowd absolutely loved them. I was watching people come up to these two guys going, that's the best thing I've seen for ages. You guys are amazing. And they are. If you love bands like Nation of Language, etc., this is class. Real class. Great work, guys. You should be really proud of this. Plastic Estate, and as I say, Code de More, really real fine album. If you haven't checked this out and got it in your vinyl collection, you really should. It's fantastic.
Aircooled are a bit of a supergroup made up of ex-members of Piroshka, Elastica, Suede, The Wedding Present, Future Sound of London and the Mickey Bereni Trio. Eat the Gold is their second studio album following the St. Leopard's album released in 2022. Our number 5 album of 2024 is a momentous mix of stirring, infectious, driving, alternative, electronic, disco-infused, glam, psychedelic rock, guitar-tainted machine rock, or kraut rock in hot pants if you prefer that. Aircooled are loud, intense, and no stranger to a good groove, a fabulous band, and if these great people haven't hit your radar yet, go check out Eat the Gold, and also check out our Electronic Cafe interview with them earlier this year.
Okay, in at number 4, the genius of St. Vincent, and this album, All Born Screaming. I don't know if you were fortunate enough to see her recent performance on Jules Holland. Even he said it's probably the best opening set he's seen forever, for the years he's been doing his show. She is an incredible talent, and this album is just... it kind of tears you apart, but in a really good way. It's just a fantastic journey to go on. She is a creative genius, and as I mentioned before when I've reviewed this album, you know, David Byrne worked with her about 10 years ago. I was fortunate enough to see them do a gig together. You got to be someone special for someone like David Byrne to say, hey, I'm loving what you're doing, I want to work with you. This is just songcraft at its finest. I say All Born Screaming is an incredible album. Check it out. At number 3, our good friends Sam Crisanta and Matt Lowmoon. I wish you way more than luck. You know, these guys are just such amazing artists. Also really lovely people, brilliant live. I mean, we take a lot of people to see these guys because live they are just one of the best live acts you'll see. They're just such powerful, big songs. We really want them to be massive, and they deserve to be. I've noticed that venues are getting a little bit bigger now, like they did the Scala when they were in the UK last, which is obviously bigger than some of the places they played in previous years. I just hope they need to be getting to the arenas at some point because they deserve to be doing those. They're that good. And I wish you way more than luck is a fantastic album, and album number 3. Can't wait for album number 4, but great work, guys. Thoroughly deserved. We love you and we love your music. So check it out.
Joint number 1 album is the truly brilliant On the Edge of a Lost and Lonely World by Humanist. We really adore both of our joint number 1 albums chosen and really couldn't split, but to avoid going to some sort of arbitration, Andy was ever so slightly leaning towards his one coming next and me leaning towards this one now. This is the second studio album by Humanist, a project which is basically the talents of the brilliant multi-instrumentalist Rob Marshall, formerly of Exit Calm and his work with Mark Lanigan, involving the elite talents of a number of iconic artists including Ed Hardcore, Dave Garn, formerly Mark Lanigan and John Robb. A phenomenal, dark, brooding, ambitious, alternative, profound album that showcases the immense writing and production talents, all about a world that seems to have teetered off its axis. a voice amongst the chaos, offering its own glimmer of hope through the universal language of music. I really can't say any more or recommend it any more highly. A stunning record. Go and check this out, and also check out our interview with the fantastic Rob Marshall earlier this year, one of our favourite ever chats on the Electronic Cafe.
You can climb out of this hole. You can purchase the saddest soul by the river's dark ripples, where the branches hang so low. You can carry yourself home to the brothers you have known, to a soul that can be broken. Little brother, I've got your back. Don't worry, enjoy the ride.
My number one for 2024. You know, I sort of sat back and thought about all the albums that hit me, and most of them are in this chart, but the one that shone out for me amongst all others, it all comes down to this, by the mighty Certain Ratio. You know, Jez, Martin, Donald, you've excelled yourselves with this album. When I first heard it, bearing in mind 1982 that came out shortly before that, was brilliant as well. This, for me, there's something sonically so classic ACR, but with a new twist. I mean, these guys rehearsed this album so well. They did it in, I think they recorded it and laid it all down in no time at all. I think all 10 tracks in a record amount of time, because they were so well rehearsed and it flowed through their veins so easily. And then, you know, it got mixed and produced, and a bit of extra fairy dust on it, but the soul core of that product was there in no time at all. Because the thing about ACR, like most people, their music comes from here, but they're so relevant today as they were when they started this thing, you know, 40 years ago. And not only that, three of the nicest people you could ever wish to meet. I know Mark and I absolutely love talking to these legends, and they really are legends in my book. And this album, for me, just like every album that makes number one for each year for us, just for me, ticked every single box, and it's probably the album I've played the most this year. So, boys, big congratulations from me, I know from Mark. Absolutely love you guys to bits. Love your music. You're true heroes.
Where it turned out a different way. God knows what love is. There's no shame in all this. We need more than dreaming. We need hope and feeling.
So there you have it. That was Mark and I's top 30 for 2024. We hope you liked our choices. We also want to say a massive thank you for all the artists that have come on the show this year. It's been a phenomenal year for Mark and I. Absolutely amazing. Also, the gig in March was incredible. Those amazing people that turned up in terms of Peter DeGale and Tiny Magnetic Pets and Wolfgang Fleur and Mark Reeder. I mean, what an event that was. We've got an event lined up for April, so get your tickets. I'll ask my good brother to put a little link up. But we've got Magnetic Skies and Vicious Pink and Paul Dakin doing the DJing duties for that amazing event at the 229. Looking forward to that, mate.
Yeah, it should be really good. When you said that, it felt longer ago than we did
It's about 9 months ago, but it feels a long time ago, doesn't it?
It was this year that we did the one at 229.
I was literally cross-checking my years in my head as I said it.
I hope you enjoy what we've just given you, our top 30, and we will strap in and wait for the feedback.
So, just briefly on to what Mark just said, you, the community, make this so worthwhile for us. We love meeting you at gigs, the positivity. And actually, when Mark and I launched the Facebook group, it was basically Mark and I telling everyone what music they should be listening to. But now we're finding music from you lovely people. So it's become a fantastic music sharing community. Also looking forward to working with the new editorial team at Blitz in Curtin Bridge. Can't wait to work with you guys. I know we're just starting, but let's keep talking together and try and do some cool stuff together as well. Look forward to that. And I just think it remains for Mark and I to say, have an amazing Christmas, you lovely EC people. And as Mark says, we're ready to go for 2025. Already got some good things lined up. So we'll see you on the other side. Take care, everyone.
See you soon.